Good morning, everyone. Good morning on this sultry Chicago morning, where it was my deepest desire to turn off my phone and to meet with you outside, because this would have been my first outside with you. But do you think we made a good choice to come in? Do you miss being outside? Do you want to be outside in the fall? Okay, good. Well, good morning. I'm excited about the service that I get to do with Linda Rio, our worship associate, and with Dennis taking care of music, and Alex always taking care of tech, and all of the ushers and greeters who are making sure people find their way inside this cool building. It is good to be with you. I'm Reverend Beth. It's good to be back with you. I'm going to invite us this morning into Come, whoever you are, and we're going to let Julia know now that I am leading the hymns, and I'm losing my voice a little bit. So if I need help, you can sing loud. Thank you so much. And I mean, all of you singers can sing loud. You got Carol there, you got Aileen over there, you got Matt over there, got Tony over there, we got Pat over there. We got enough people to lead these songs, right? We got Steve back there, kind of hiding back there. All right, y'all, I'm going to invite you to rise in body or spirit, and we're going to sing Come, whoever you are. We're just going to go through it 3 times. And for those of you, my choir people, who know the descant, this song is a Rumi poem that is not an exact translation, which often happens with Rumi, but it was put to music by UU minister, poet, and musician Lynn Unger. But there is a piece of this song that there's a descant that goes along with it and over it, that though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. So for those of you who can do that, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to be leading. If you just add the descant or not, but just know that this is a song about welcoming, about coming into community. And as we consider our theme of a rebellious culture of care, what I think about is that in order to live into our covenants, our sacred promises, to walk together in the ways of love, it is a rebellious culture of care to say, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, come, yet again come. And we're inviting wanderers, worshipers, lovers of leaving. So y'all left last week and then you came back. So I invite you to sing with me. We'll sing it 3 times. By the way, that is the only slide we have today. So if you need the words to the song or the melody, it's number 188 in your gray hymnal. But you all know this song. You do not. Well, if you need your hymnal, I won't take it away from you. So let's go ahead. Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover, leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Sure.
Am I on? Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this place of peace, justice, and hope. In this Unitarian Universalist congregation, we affirm no matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on your journey, you are welcome here. For those of you joining us online, we are so glad you are with us. If you're visiting with us today, we invite you to sign our visitor's book. Also, members and friends, to help folks connect, remember to wear your name tags with your pronoun stickers. If you need a new name tag, see the visitor's table in the back. I am Linda Rio, my pronouns are she and her, and I'm pleased to be with you today as your worship associate. Our music today is provided by Dennis Sedgwick. We recognize that individuals of all ages and abilities have different needs during our service. In the living room at the back of the sanctuary, we provide a cart of fidgets and drawing supplies. If at any point you feel the need for movement, please feel free to get up and grab a fidget, engage in drawing, or move around. Our minister loves movement. There are also different types of seating available in the back of the sanctuary. Please see a greeter if you need any assistance. May you each know you are welcome in this house of peace, and may our worship and fellowship this morning touch your heart, your mind, and your spirit.
We are replicating our easygoing kind of circle here, and in another time I would put the chairs in a circle, but then I woke up and thought we can't do that. We acknowledge that we here on the western suburbs inhabit lands that belong to many indigenous peoples. As a people trying to live into a more just world, we have a responsibility to acknowledge the history and the legacy of colonialism, the harm done to Native people, and also to work to repair that harm. Invite us into worship this morning with words by Lisa Garcia Sampson, Nourished and Transformed. Spirit of life and love, spirit that lives within, between, and among us right now, within this beloved community and our work for collective liberation. May we continue to weave the web of trust and care to keep our bodies and everyone safe. But more than that, may our bodies be the site of healing, joy, and freedom. May we refuse to let our spirits be depleted and hardened by the forces of hate. Instead, may we open ourselves to be nourished and transformed by the movements for justice and the love therein, knowing that our collective story is not what we are fighting against, but it is what we are fighting for. For ours is the work of creation. Ours is the work of inviting people into an irresistible movement rooted in the belief that a new world is possible. Not an iteration of the old world, but a brand new world. At the center of our work is love and joy and the spirit of abundance. These are the things that we're fighting for, and these are the things that we're fighting with. Love, joy, abundance. May we know deep in our bones that this is the call of our faith. Let us use our voices to sing, our bodies to move, our spirits to soar with the joy of resistance and hope and resilience. This morning, our service is inspired not only by our theme of a rebellious culture of care, but today's service is inspired and dedicated to one of two of my main root teachers, and that is Joanna Macy. Joanna Macy, some of you have heard about through the work that the Green Sanctuary team has done. Joanna Macy was an eco-philosopher, Buddhist systems theorist who developed what she calls the work that reconnects. Joanna's work was grounded in the idea that we're in a time of what she called the Great turning from an industrial growth society toward a life-sustaining society, a great turning from oppressive systems to liberating systems. She began her work in the 1980s doing nuclear disarmament work. Initially, she called her work despair and empowerment work. And it became, as I said, the work that reconnects. Joanna created what she called the spiral of the work that reconnects, and that is the simple slide that you have there. And the spiral of the work that reconnects. Now, this should be familiar to some of you because we've done services around this. We also did, I think, at least a 4-hour workshop on the work that reconnects in Joanna's book, Active Hope. In the work that reconnects, we come from gratitude. We name and honor our pain for the world. We see with new and ancient eyes, and then we go forth. I've traveled the spiral of the work that reconnects for close to 20 years now. My first in-person encounter with Joanna was in 2006 at a 10-day retreat, intensive actually, in the mountains of SoCal, California, at the Land of Medicine Buddha Retreat Center. For 10 days, myself and about 20 other people were immersed in this work, along with Fran Macy, Joanna's husband, who passed in 2009. We were immersed in this work. The thing about this work is it blends theory and practice. You've got to know the foundations that we come from and what underpins, what informs the work. But then that stays where? Here. So the next is action. After about 6 weeks on hospice, my beloved Joanna Macy died surrounded by her family and her friends. Thankfully, we have Caring Bridge, so those of us who couldn't be there were able to see the care with which Joanna was given as she made her transition, and then her wake, which was held in her home. So in light of that, as Linda and I were talking about the service and talking about what a rebellious culture of care might look like, the spiral of the work that reconnects came to me as a forum, a way to think about this. Now, we are not just heads with feet, right? We love theory, right? How many people love theory? Love to learn things and philosophy. And Joanna, by the way, is the first person to ever do a PhD dissertation on systems theory in Buddhism. So we love that. How many of you love your body? Yeah. Oh, y'all. Oh, my. You could have just lied. You could have just went, yeah, Reverend Beth, I love my body. Well, we're going to begin this service with, I know what you'll love is an embodiment practice. Because the work is about bringing ourselves into our bodies so that we can move for action. Now, the good thing about any embodiment work is that you do what you can do with what you're comfortable with in your body, but I'm also going to challenge you, invite you to challenge yourself, push yourself a little bit. And all that means is that you'll stand if you're able. That's all. You're not going to be dancing in the aisle, well, maybe a little later, dancing in the aisles today. So this is an embodiment practice. It's very similar to what I usually use, right? I'm going to invite us in to do some breath work. And if breath work is a challenge for you, then you can just be aware of your hands on your body, the room around you. So I'm going to invite those of you who are willing and able to stand to rise. There you go. I'm so proud. And just feel your feet on the floor. Feel yourself connected to the earth below this floor. And just feel yourself. Imagine that there are roots coming out of your feet, grounding you, moving through all the layers of earth into the soil, into the earth, all the way down, even to the core of Mother Earth. A molten core that when your roots reach it, don't burn, but are revitalized. And allow those roots to just rest for a moment in the core, the heart of Mother Earth. And breathe. Just simply notice your breath, beloved, in this time. You don't have to do anything special with it. And now imagine that you are bringing energy from the earth up through the roots of the earth, through the foundation of this building and the floor, and up into the soles of your feet. Imagine it's golden energy from the earth. And allow that energy to move up through your feet, your calves and shins, all the way up your legs to your pelvis area. And as you're moving this energy up, see if there's any place that needs healing or needs a touch, and allow the energy to move there and to even stay there and heal. Move the energy up through your solar plexus, your low back, just feeling the connection and breathing into that. There you go. Just remembering your connection with Mother Earth and all that is. And allow the energy to move up to your chest area, your back, and feel your body filled with this golden healing energy from Mother Earth. Bring the energy up to your shoulders. And if they have been around your ears, beloved, you could just go ahead and drop them and let the energy flow there. And let the energy flow through your arms, your upper arms, lower arms, and all the way through your hands. And imagine that if you saw your hands right now, you could see the golden healing energy. And rest in that for just a moment. And bring the energy up to your throat, the back of your neck, filling your head with golden healing energy. And now imagine that the energy comes out of the top of your head, bringing roots or branches that go out, up to the cosmos, which is really the original place of your birth. We're uniting two birthplaces here, the cosmos, which birthed everything, and the earth, which birthed you and everything on her. And just feel that connection from above and below. And breathe it in for a moment and just take a scan through your body and see where this energy needs to go. And rest in that for a moment. I invite you to take a breath. You can deepen it if you want, and if you would like, you can exhale with a sigh, a silent or a verbal sigh. We're holding so much, beloved, in our bodies and in our psyches. Just take another breath. And if you'd like, just release. And let's go ahead and do that one more time. Breathing in. And release. Now go ahead and imagine that those branches that have come out to the cosmos are coming back into through your crown, but your connection remains. Imagine that your roots are coming up from Mother Earth, but the connection remains. Taking another breath, feeling yourself connected in your body, this beautiful body, perfect body. And when you're ready, if your eyes have been closed, I invite you to open them. And then if you will, just take a look around the room and look at the people that we are sharing this time with. Thank you. We're going to go ahead, and you can stay standing or seated. We're going to go ahead and sing the meditation on breathing. I'm going to go ahead and start with the descant. Breathe in, breathe out. Then we'll go to the melody. Not the drone. Breathe in, breathe out. I looked at Julie. She's like, that's not the descant. If somebody wants to do the descant, you can do that. No, you didn't. But I looked at you and I went, oh, yeah, I was wrong. So I'm going to start with breathe in, breathe out, Dennis, and then we'll go into the melody. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, beautiful. I think we should. You want to do this after? We're going to do we give thanks after the gratitude thing. Okay.
By Lee Kinby. This chalice is for the living, the changing, the becoming. This chalice is for losing the script of your life, the chapters about who you are in other people's stories. This chalice is for the lost GPS that was supposed to show you how to get where they expected you to go. This chalice is for skipping the directions, coloring outside the lines, painting not by number, but by silence, by wild abandon, with a brush that you made yourself from light deep inside. Startling, vivid, a new voice that already knows you. Finally, a true story.
Thank you for those wonderful words, Linda. The first part of the spiral is coming from gratitude. Gratitude may seem in these times like a radical act. Like, how can I be grateful when there is so much suffering? And yet, Joanna knew from whence she spoke and grounded this spiral in gratitude, beginning there, because we know when we come from gratitude, we're able to bring the fullness of who we are, our blessings, knowing that all around us, even amidst that which is disruptive and destructive, there is that beauty, that joy, that grace And so we come from gratitude. And just invite you just for a moment to look around, and also in your imagination, because we were going to be outside, and think about what it is that you're grateful for, and Linda will bring you into that a little later. But how does gratitude feel in your body? Where do you feel gratitude in your body? You could show me, or each other. Yeah, Kathy was the first, right? We feel it here, don't we? Oh, and face. Anybody else? Any other places? Yeah. I think I feel gratitude here when I realize that I don't have my shoulders up to my ears, which is why I bring that up to you all the time. We always teach what we need. So I'm going to skip this. You're in. Yep.
Asked me to reflect on how the 4 spiral elements can help us all define rebellious care for ourselves and for others. So we're starting with coming from gratitude. When we take time to connect what we're grateful for, it really is an act of rebellion against feelings that things are too bad, that things are so bad in our life in the world that there's nothing to be grateful for. And what we're talking about this month is being rebellious about care for ourselves and others. So we're also rebelling against a related feeling like we shouldn't take care of ourselves when other people need so much right now. And I know I had gotten to a point recently of not wanting to do anything enjoyable because I felt guilty feeling joy when others are suffering so much right now. But that is a form of not taking care of myself. So I had to resist that guilt and to take care of my own physical, mental, spiritual well-being. I returned to doing enjoyable things with friends, planning activities with my children, going on weekends with my daughter, and being very present to being grateful to be able to do that. So when I did that, I recovered some of my energy, which allowed me to then bring that energy to caring for others, both in my personal life and in my professional life. And I also had to start coming from a place of gratitude rather than frustration with my physical limitations and my fatigue and my pain and my new hearing loss. And to focus on being grateful for things that I can do to take care of myself. And one of those things is standing for, in my professional life, being able to work from home most of the time. And that then allows me to get enough sleep at night, to take time in the morning to have a healthy breakfast, to drink my mango ginger herbal tea, and usually to start the day reading from something, often a fiction book or some other books that I enjoy. And then to be grateful for working at home, looking out at my lake and the nature outside my patio. So coming from gratitude is also about being grateful for what we can do to care for others. And even though my body's throwing up some roadblocks, what I'm grateful for is that my mind is still fairly, I might say, fairly functional. And the way I've usually cared for others is not with my physicality, but is with my mind and my heart and my spirit. And so I'm grateful because I can continue to create legal service programs that help people who can't afford lawyers. And I can still, from the comfort of my home and on the phone or Zoom or FaceTime, provide emotional support to my family and my friends. So now we invite you to bring to mind one thing you're grateful for this morning for yourself, and one thing you're grateful that you can do to care for others. And sort of in place of our normal joys and sorrows, what we'd like to do is, if you would like to speak those aloud, Please share a word or a phrase, or you can just hold those in your heart.
I'm grateful for the communities around me that I get to be part of, to sing with, to pray with, and to act with. For me, it is a form of rebellious self-care in having that opportunity to share community. Don't be shy. You can just put it out there. Put your gratitudes out, y'all. Unconditional love. Friends. Air conditioning, yes. We are very, very blessed. Again, family, music. I didn't hear. Safety, yes. Yes, beautiful flowers and trees, no matter how we enjoy them, right? For Sandy, who stepped up when there was a need. For kittens. Thank you, Sandy. For protests. Peaceful protests. For non-peaceful protests. Ethical leaders. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think we've probably all heard about, right, Linda, is keeping a gratitude journal, or, taking some time each day to be grateful. And that doesn't mean, as Linda pointed out, that it can't coexist with our care, our worries, or our concerns for ourselves or for the world. So I'm going to remain seated and just sing the song We Give Thanks. It's number 1010 in your teal hymnal. And as you do so, think about the things that you're giving thanks for. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away. The next section of the spiral is honoring our pain for the world. I have a recollection when I first started the work that it was just honoring our pain for the world. And then as Joanna did her work, it's naming and honoring our pain. Because first it needs to be named. I think it would be safe to say that all of us are carrying some pain for ourselves, for loved ones, and our pain for the world. We carry it because we care. If we didn't feel pain for what we see happening around us or happening to loved ones, even to ourselves, it wouldn't be a symbol of our love. It would be a symbol of denial, not caring. There's another word I'm looking for. If you have it, yell it out, because it's not right on the tip of my tongue. Apathy. Yeah. Inability to take it in. So Joanna says that when we live in this way, we will have a broken heart. And she says that a heart broken open can hold the world. We can let the world in, and we let our love out. Our pain for the world is a sign of our interdependence and our interconnectedness. It's okay. It shows that you're alive and that you care. Joanna, along with the poet Anita Barrows, was a translator of the work of Rainer Maria Rilke, the late 18th, early 19th century poet. This is Rilke. You who let yourselves feel enter the breathing that is more than your own. Let it brush your cheeks as it divides and rejoins behind you. Blessed ones, whole ones, where the heart begins, you are the bow that shoots the arrows, and you are the target. Fear not the pain. Let its weight fall back into the earth, for heavy are the mountains, heavy are the seas. The trees you planted in childhood have grown too heavy. You cannot bring them along. Give yourselves to the air, to that which cannot hold you, to that which you cannot hold, actually.
My pain for the world, like I'm sure all of you, and for all the world's beings, is huge right now. I would say it's probably as deep as it has ever been in my life. We're being bombarded constantly by suffering, much of it caused intentionally. Some by our own government, some by those with power in other countries, sometimes by both working together. I'm seeing some of this suffering up close, at work with our migrant neighbors and with people living in extreme poverty, with people losing their jobs, people not being able to support or keep their families safe. And like many of you, I'm also seeing it with my queer and BIPOC family and friends, whose sense of safety wasn't great before and now is much worse. The pain was overwhelming me, and I tried to resist feeling it because it felt so heavy that I felt like I couldn't carry that pain and still be in action. But it turned out the opposite was true. It was an act of rebellious self-care to name it and fully feel it. There are lots of names for it. At various times, I'm sad, angry, afraid, bewildered, hopeless, and grieving, and often feeling overwhelmed. The pain that's extra deep for me right now is this enormous sadness and anger that so many human beings are happy that pain is being inflicted on other human beings. That one is one that's so painful and hard to sit with that even as I say it, my whole body just feels like crying. My self-care, though, is to recognize and remind myself that I am actually glad that's how I feel, related to what Reverend Beth was saying. I'm not glad I feel that way because of the suffering, but I'm glad to honor myself for that humanity and to recognize and to remind myself that there are many people in my life who feel the same way. That's what's helped me stay in action and to care for others. Joanna Macy had said, honoring our pain opens us up to our love, courage, imagination, and sense of justice. And I really find that to be true. The pain has made me more compassionate, more motivated, and more courageous. So now we invite you to name a pain that you're having in your life as a way to honor that pain and then allow yourself to move to the next stage of the spiral. And again, you can either keep that in your heart or if you wish, share that aloud.
Friends. Climate change. The people starving in Gaza. Lost friends. People being disappeared. People knuckling under to power. Those in power who are not listening. Pain of the Supreme Court is supposed to be protecting our Constitution and failing at that. Friends, I encourage you to see how your body feels at this point and do what you need to do to just be with it, but also move it through. The spiral is a spiral because we're not supposed to stay in that pain. We've got the gratitude that we can bring forth. I want to say the last two verses of the Roka poem again. Fear not the pain. Let its weight fall back into the earth. For heavy are the mountains, heavy are the seas. The trees you planted in childhood have grown too heavy. You cannot bring them along. Give yourselves to the air, to what you cannot hold. The next part of the spiral is seeing with new and ancient eyes. Now I'm going to maybe make you all jealous, or not, to know that in Joanna's work, in the morning she taught, And in the afternoon, we had exercises that we did. Some included moving our bodies, some included really expressing our pain. Of course, it was a safe place. That was the intention. The Green Sanctuary team, led by Dave Lloyd, along with me and the other members, embodied some of that during our workshop, which we'll do again. Dave and Suzanne. We see with new and ancient eyes. Once we name our pain, we find the ways that we can see what is possible. Linda's going to talk about it, and then I'll have a little bit more to say about that. But again, initially, when I first encountered the spiral, it was seeing with new eyes. And then because this is evolving work, new and ancient eyes was added, because there are other ways of knowing.
I definitely feel that I'm seeing the world through new eyes recently. I think even for us UUs who have been around for a really long time in this work, and even though we're grounded in the principles of Unitarian Universalism, and even if we've been involved in social justice for a while, I feel like there's been an additional layer of the veil that's been further lifted this year. And the intentional suffering that our government is inflicting, particularly on marginalized communities, has really brought us to see just how bad things can get and how fragile the progress that we thought we were making was. I've gone recently from thinking, how can this possibly be happening, to seeing clearly that this is real, and it's based on deep-seated injustice and corrupt leadership, corrupt both literally and morally, and our loss of ancient community and compassion and foundation and caring. It's also made me see that we cannot go back to a time when we made excuses for people's behaviors or overlooked someone's perspective just to keep the peace. I see that behavior and those opinions as a violation of the basic and ancient foundation of humanity, community, and how we were all created to care for each other. And I really hope that I don't unsee it. I hope I never don't see when immigrants and queer and BIPOC folks are suffering, or science and climate truth being denied, or the use of intentional misinformation and lies to support power, as these are the very things we need to rebel against. And that is an act of caring for ourselves and for others in a rebellious way. And I think it's a courageous act of personal rebellion to not become complacent and to not let that veil come back on. So we invite you to again bring to mind one way that you're seeing with new and ancient eyes.
Book banning. Power of protest. Yes, yes. Did you hear that? There's in LA, and a mobile unit that's documenting ICE movements, and I'm seeing people just really stepping out and interfering with ICE kidnapping, and they're probably not even ICE, but the thugs that are going after people, and seeing a different kind of resistance, a kind of community coming together. A couple of weeks ago, Paula talked about mutual aid, and I think that's a way to see with new and ancient eyes, to look at how other cultures have always understood that we're community and take care of one another, and the benefits and the actual salvific nature of that. I think one of the places that I see it, Linda, is people understanding the linkage between indigenous struggles. Being a border person, seeing how the struggles at the US-Mexican border mirrored the struggles and the solidarity between the struggles of them and the people in Palestine, the people in Ukraine, the people who are fighting against either colonization or oppression and war. And that's one of the things that I've seen over the past, decade or so. This is what I encourage you to do. As you go through, I'll put this spiral on our Facebook page. I'll make copies available for you if you're interested in seeing it and thinking about it, meditating on it, working with it. Encourage you to notice what you're noticing in a fresh way. The struggles against white supremacy culture, the struggles against indigenous, the colonization, but also that's seeing what it is and what the root is, but then the seeing with new eyes is where you see how people are rising up, how there's new forms of community and resistance and love and fellowship. So encourage you to just be mindful of that. I'd love to circle back with us in a workshop on the work that reconnects and bring this together another time. The next part of the spiral is going forth. So we take all that, we came from gratitude, we honor and name our pain for the world, we see with new and ancient eyes, and then we go forth. And we have an act of going forth here every week when we share our collection, and we give ourselves the opportunity to go forth in generosity. So at this time, the offering will be gratefully received. I'm not doing that. Going forth is my favorite one. I like to go forth.
Joanna Macy describes this stage of going forth as moving into the actions that call each of us according to our situation, gifts, and limitations. And I really like that it includes both gifts and limitations, because we all come with both, and that's okay. And caring for others despite limitations is a form of rebellion against those limitations stopping us. So I had been thinking after my 4th spine surgery a year ago that it was time to retire, to go slower, to go inward, to rest. Because now I have these physical limitations and I get tired and it's a lot harder to get around. But I know now, after the gratitude and the pain naming and the seeing with new and ancient eyes, that I can't isolate and sit back. I have to be aware of and responsive to my limitations, but I also have to keep going forth. Because we must care for those who our new eyes know are suffering and so afraid right now. And while we all may be afraid on some level, that's different than the fear of those who have to stay imprisoned in their homes to avoid being violently grabbed by unmasked people. And I talk to these people every week that this is happening to. And they're going to inhabitable places and shipped off to unsafe places they've never been. Or the fear of those who stay physically and emotionally safe by having to hide their sexuality or chosen gender identity or chosen pronouns. Or our black and brown neighbors who are seeing the erosion in this country of any small progress that had been made in civil and human rights. And even worse, racism-based atrocities happening all around the world. Or of all the people and creatures living in places being devastated by the effects of climate change because scientific truths are being denied. This is why I need to not just go forth to care for others, but to now do it rebelliously. I used to be someone whose default was very much conflict aversion and to be a mediator and to try to get everybody happy, with the final result. And despite being a lawyer, I am very conflict averse. But my new eyes tell me we cannot compromise our way out of where we are now. We can't even go back to where we were before, because that was no great shakes for most people, and particularly for our BIPOC and queer neighbors and the millions of people experiencing homelessness or poverty or incarceration. And in my mind, waiting around for the midterms and hoping for a majority party change in Congress isn't rebelliously caring for others, and I think is ineffectual. What we need to do is call on our courage to work inside communities, to really understand what's happening, to speak out in large and small and one-on-one conversations, rather than keeping the peace for the sake of maintaining a relationship, and to show up in mass so others know they are not alone. For a while, as I was telling Reverend Beth, I thought that peaceful protests were not a great use of resources, because I was concerned that it diffused the anger and it diffused focusing on what was really happening. But what I have found by spending a lot of time with people in communities in the city that are really impacted by this is it's really important that they know that we are here. Right now, they can't be vocal. So it's really important that we're vocal for them, and it really matters to them when they see this on the local news or the media, or they hear that we're all standing up for them right now. And I think it is a time that requires us to find the courage to do the things that we've been afraid to do, because that's what rebellious caring is. For me, I actually hate going to court and being in really adversarial situations. So as a way for me going forth right now, I am going to ICE check-ins to represent and advocate for people who have to show up. many of whom are being detained on the spot, and then contacting their emergency contacts that they provide to us, and immediately getting them into the system to get legal representation, and getting attorneys to volunteer to go into federal court immediately to get habeas petitions filed. None of that is part of my nature, and it's all, frankly, stuff I'm afraid to do. But that's what I have to do to rebelliously care for other people right now. And everyone has a different way to do it, but in some way, we can all go forth rebelliously to care for our fellow humans and our fellow living creatures and for our planet. So we invite you now to bring to mind a way in which you can go forth rebelliously to care for the world, and to share that with us if you wish.
Let's hear it. Rebelliously going for it. We all can't go to court like Linda.
Or actually, if you speak Spanish, please come with me.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Visiting congressional representatives. Make sure they hear from you in one way or another. Provides financial support. Yep. Again, talk to more people. Talk to people who are indifferent. Yeah, that was part of Linda's challenge, wasn't it? Yep. So for some of you, this is a new frame to be thinking about how we move through these times. And the spiral can be applied specifically to issues. We've taken a broad sweep. I do this work in an hour, in 2 hours, in 5 hours, in weekends. So you can see that there's ways that we can deepen in this. But see, or be mindful as you go forth, how you can go forth. And I'm going to invite you to join in our chalice extinguishing words, which we don't have up. So for those of you who are new, I apologize for the insider thing. Oh, you know what? Let's line by line it so everyone can say it. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth. The warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. There you go. I like doing it like that. Did you like that? I'm going to share words by Gloria Anzaldúa. On the path ahead, you see otro puente, another bridge, a footbridge with mission planks and broken rails. You walk toward it, step onto the threshold, and freeze. The right hand clutching the past, the left hand stretching toward the unknown. Behind, the world admonishes you to stick to the old, tried and true dominant paradigm and so the secure relationships within it. Adelante, ahead, La Llorona whispers. You have a task, a calling. Only you can bring forth your potential. And as Linda and I were thinking about the service and how do we want to close, thinking we might be outside and wanted to do songs that people could sing, without a hymnal. And Linda, in her reflection, talking about not being afraid. I loved our conversations getting ready for today. It's very profound for me to hear your witness and your process. And Linda has admonished us to not be afraid. So I'm going to teach you a song that's by the Peace Poets. It's a movement song. I've sung it with the Poor People's Campaign. It's a zipper song, so you can do it. I'll give you the lines as we go. It's called I Am Not Afraid. I'll give you the words right now. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will blank for liberation because I know why I was made. So I'm going to invite you to rise in body or spirit. I'll start singing, and then we'll be putting in the other lyrics. This will just be a cappella. Okay. Imagining yourself in spaces where you feel challenged. Imagine yourself in that courtroom doing a scary thing. Imagine that yourself having that conversation. Imagine yourself on the line, on the front line. Imagine yourself doing things that challenge you but also bring you into the vitality and fullness of your calling. Imagine yourself marching with thousands of people on the mall in Washington, D.C., or in a small line of people in front of a federal building. And sing with me. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will pray for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will pray for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will work for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will work for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will live for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will die for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will die for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. Now pick the thing that you're going to do. Pray, work, live, love, love, love. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will love for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will love for liberation, 'cause I know why I was made. Now pick your word, and we're going to sing it together with all them different words. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I will strive for liberation, 'cause I know why beloveds. Beloveds, go forth from Alleluia. I was hoping somebody would clap. I'm not so good on 2 and 4. No. I meant during the song. All right, beloveds, go forth in peace, love, and a rebellious culture of care.